So random.
Look at that. You can see the scratches so clearly.
Out my flashlight.
In 2017, a cyclist filming his ride through a dense, shadowy forest captured something that looked like it belonged in a nightmare. At first, he thought about moving closer, assuming it was just a scarecrow or an abandoned doll. But as he approached, a deep sense of dread set in. Something was off, disturbingly off. Acting on instinct, he spun his bike around and sped away. After all, who would stand completely motionless in the middle of the woods, dressed as a clown and staring blankly into the darkness? This footage was captured by 36-year-old cyclist Malcolm Fox, who unintentionally recorded a terrifying encounter on his GoPro after taking a wrong turn while biking through a wooded trail in Somerset, West South Africa in May 2016. The video shows a man suddenly rushing toward him and demanding all of his belongings. Fox later confessed he had never experienced a robbery before, and feared he might become another statistic that his two sons could grow up without their father. But this wasn't a single attacker. It was a group. One man stole his bike, while another searched him, holding a knife in his hand. Luckily, the robbers had no idea they were being recorded. The footage was so clear that police easily tracked them down. The suspects were soon arrested, and every one of Fox's possessions was recovered, all thanks to one small camera. Sophie, an outdoor enthusiast from Denmark, wanted to challenge herself with a solo overnight trip in one of the country's many public wooden shelters. These simple structures scattered across Denmark's forests and coastal areas offer a free and authentic way to experience nature without needing a tent.
Hi, my name is Sophie. Today I'm gonna try to spend the night in a permanent wood shelter right next to the airport. I'm gonna make a campfire, cook a delicious dinner, and have a cozy evening. I hope you will join my adventure. Today my plan is to stay here in this wood shelter. We have quite a lot of these permanent wood shelters all around Denmark, and they have become very popular to camp in because you don't need to bring a tent, you just need to bring a sleeping pad and a sleeping bag, and then you have this lovely campsite where you can spend the night. Now I'm just gonna go out and look for some firewood. I have this pocket saw, it's called, like a chain from a chainsaw here with two fabric handles. First, when I got it, I thought this is the best thing ever. I loved it. But I think it's not that good anymore. Maybe it's just because that the blades are not as sharp as when I just got it. But I feel it keeps on getting stuck when I try to saw.
Her plan was uncomplicated. Build a campfire, cook dinner, and spend a quiet night outdoors completely on her own. She had originally reserved a different shelter, but when she arrived it was already taken. So she continued biking until she found another one technically reserved by someone else.
It's actually possible to book these type of shelters, or at least most of them, online, so that you know that you will have this spot available to spend the night. I booked a shelter for tonight, a different one located like 1 kilometer from here. But when I got there, there was a family there cooking dinner over the fire. So I just kept on biking because I knew that there was another one over here. And I could see that this one was actually booked, but yeah, as you can see, no one is here. So now I'm just hoping that I will have it to myself. But of course, if someone comes here and they have booked it for the night, I will pack up and leave. It actually says on the website that you have until 8 in the evening to show up, and otherwise it's just free to take for everyone. And now the time is 7:30, so 30 minutes left of insecurity and then hopefully I can stay here in peace. This campsite is actually very close to the airport, the main airport in Denmark, so there might be some noise in the background of this video. There is a plane coming above me like every 5 minutes, so it's not as idyllic as you could hope, but it's a different experience. And as long as I'm out here in nature, I think it's nice, even with the plane noise.
Since it was empty, she decided to stay unless the rightful occupants showed up. The website stated that if no one arrived by 8:00 p.m., the shelter would become available for anyone to use. At 7:30, Sophie waited anxiously, glancing at her watch every few minutes. When the clock finally struck 8 huzzurs, it was officially hers for the night. However, the shelter's location came with one unexpected drawback. It was close to Denmark's busiest airport. Every few minutes, planes thundered overhead, shattering the tranquility she had imagined. Still, Sophie pressed on with her plan, build a fire, cook a warm meal, and spend her first night sleeping outdoors without a tent, relying only on the shelter and her sleeping bag. Dinner was simple, yet comforting. She had prepared dough earlier that day, wrapped it around a stick, and roasted it over the open fire to make traditional Danish-style hot dogs, topped with ketchup and remoulade. As darkness settled, the forest around her began to change. The gentle sounds of nature grew sharper, twigs cracked, leaves rustled, and every noise seemed to come from just beyond the tree line. Then something strange caught her attention. From deep within the woods, faint flashes of light appeared. They didn't come from a trail or a nearby house. They looked deliberate, like someone moving slowly through the forest with a flashlight or lantern. The lights flickered, disappeared, then returned, always from the same spot. Sophie tried to dismiss it as animals, maybe deer, but the movement felt too steady to be natural.
Hot dog number 2. This ended up being quite a late dinner, but it was very good. 2 hot dogs. Now I'm full. Oh, I actually could have eaten one more, but 2 was enough. Now it's already dark, so I had to bring out my flashlight. And now the forest is starting to make a lot of sounds. I don't know what it is. As soon as it gets dark, all sounds just becomes a little bit scary. I have no idea if you can hear this on the camera, but there are these big like branches snapping or breaking in that direction. And now there's an airplane, so you probably can't hear it. But I'm just, yeah, I get a tiny bit scared whenever I hear that sound.
Later, while she was cleaning up and preparing for bed, the lights came back again. There were no voices, no footsteps, just faint rustling and the slow pulse of light between the trees. The uneasy thought of being watched crept into her mind, yet she chose to stay. She arranged her sleeping bag facing the open entrance for a clear view of the forest and hung a few small lights to make the space feel safer. The rest of the night passed without any direct encounter, though the tension lingered. Between the flicker of her fading flashlight, the roar of planes overhead, and the memory of those eerie lights, it wasn't the peaceful night she had envisioned. When morning came, Sophie felt proud but uneasy. As sunlight filtered through the trees, she couldn't stop thinking about the flickering lights, their timing, their direction, and the strange feeling that someone might have been there all along. Would you have stayed like Sophie, or packed up and left the woods behind forever? Uploaded on June 22nd, 2025 by British vlogger Ads from Ads Uncut. This video captures his overnight stay inside the West Midlands Safari Park in the UK. Usually known for relaxed travel vlogs, Ads decided to test his limits, spending a night only inches away from lions. But as daylight faded, the calm luxury began to feel strangely tense. He begins the day driving through the wide open park, surrounded by rolling green hills and distant animal sounds. His stay for the night is at Kruger Lodge, a glass-walled suite positioned right beside the lion enclosure.
Whereas in my master bedroom, there is no gap whatsoever. My feet, or maybe even my head if I choose to sleep at this end, are literally going to be next to the lions. Oh wait, I've seen one! There's a lion! He's chilling up there in the shade. Okay, that makes a lot of sense as to why they're not all out. Obviously, they don't like sitting in the heat of the sun. So later on when the sun goes down, that should be our opportunity to have them around here. It's a shame he hasn't come down into this patch of shade down here though. That would be incredible if he was right there. But yeah, this is unbelievable. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm extremely hot. I need to take some of these layers off and just chill out for a little bit on the bed. I will have the camera at the ready, so if anything comes along, obviously I'll show you that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to chill out for about 30 to 37 minutes. I am back in the room. I'm feeling refreshed. Do you know what? I've been absolutely loving laying in that bed, looking at her at the lions. One of them's so funny, right? He keeps moving positions and he just wanders along a few paces and then he just drops to the floor like he's been shot. So that's been making me laugh. And at one point he'd had enough of being in the shade. He wanted a bit of sun. So he stepped out, flopped down again.
After checking in, Ads walks through the park filming rhinos, elephants, and hippos under the bright afternoon sun. When he finally reaches the White Lion Lodge, the camera lingers. Two lions rest just beyond the glass, their eyes fixed on him as he films. Later that evening, he notices deep claw marks running down the glass wall. The staff had warned him earlier. The lions sometimes paw at the barrier, testing its strength. He laughs it off, but his voice lowers as he traces one of the marks with his fingers.
That's probably about as far as my explanation of the culinary delight goes. I gave it another blast in the microwave, and I gotta be honest, that was actually incredible. Compliments to the chef. That chicken was amazing. But this is the bit I'm mainly looking forward to, the banoffee pie, which I've just fully enjoyed consuming on my swinging chair, and now I've cracked open another ice cold beer. There's only one thing left to do, and that is kick back, relax, and wait for my lion friends to approach. Mayday, mayday, the lion is on the move. I've just been doing a bit of work on the laptop, but he's on the move and I can actually hear him roaring out there. I don't know if you can hear him. He's over the back there. God, that is amazing. Look at that. You can see the scratches so clearly now. Look how many there are. Literally, I cannot wait. If that happens, I'm going to be so excited. Right, I'm back in my room now. I've got the best vantage point. What the hell is going on? Is that alright? Yeah. Right. Where were we? I'm back in my room. I've got the best vantage point of the one that's down the edge there, and I can still see the ones that are at the top. So I'm going to continue doing my work, but do not worry, we will not miss a thing. Okay, we've got one of the ones from the top coming down to join his little mate. He's been roaring at him, and that was obviously a signal to come on over.
As the sun disappears, the air turns quiet. Ads warms a pre-packed dinner, pours a drink, and settles beside the window. Then comes a deep roar echoing through the night. Outside, one of the lions moves slowly, its massive body glowing in the dim light from the lodge. It walks closer, pressing its face against the glass, close enough for its breath to fog the window. Hours later, everything grows still. Then faintly, a sound, slow, heavy breathing just outside.
I cannot believe how close he is. Look at it. Right, there's literally a lion right here. This is insane. Where's my other camera? Okay, we have finally got the wish. The lion is right there. So I know you can't see me very well, but I'm keeping the lights off in case another one comes. Basically, I was sat there, I didn't have any chance to get the camera properly or anything because he come straight past the glass. He wasn't like, he didn't come down from far. I don't know how he got round the back. Maybe it's a different one. Maybe it's not part of the three. He can be staring at me when I sleep, licking his lips and dreaming of feasting upon my pancreas. But that is what I signed up for, and I absolutely love the idea of it, to be honest. It's going to be so weird, and there's just a massive silhouette staring at me. But that's the kitchen lights out. The last one to turn out is the bedroom light, and I will catch you guys in the morning. Good morning, people. It's currently 9 AM, but I did get up at 4:30 AM, and I do have some incredible videos as evidence. The lions at the moment, they're just chilling up the back there. But it's 9 AM, checkout is in an hour.
When morning comes, the lens catches the first golden rays lighting up the field. A lion stands only a few feet away, motionless watching. The scene feels silent, weighty, almost unreal. Viewers later noticed how Ads' tone shifted every time the lions approached. Some praised his composure, others thought he was masking fear. A few even asked if the glass had ever truly been tested against a lion's strength. Ads called it one of his favorite experiences, yet he's never spent another night beside predators since. Maybe it wasn't fear that stopped him. Maybe after seeing a lion that close, the silence afterward never feels the same again. On February 15th, 2020, the YouTube channel High Gear, widely recognized for its unfiltered off-road and dirt bike adventures, uploaded one of its most chaotic and talked about videos ever. The footage follows a solo rider named Vladimir on what begins as a calm afternoon ride until an unexpected encounter with two locals turns into a heated confrontation that spirals out of control. The video opens quietly, the soft rush of wind, the low hum of the engine, and a vast open field ahead. Vladimir stops, briefly adjusting his gloves before noticing two men approaching from a distance.
All the people are around. Here it is very. Oh, what a nice bike, man. And it's feeling very, very right there. There is some people. Kaj vi? Kaj? Kaj narobe? Saj ne delamo škode, saj sred zime. Pa trava še zmer pizda. Ja, to ne kosijo zdaj kmeti, veš, to je še lepo, a ne. Ti riješ tukaj zemljo, vse bo že. Nisem, prav greš pogledat, a je tvoje drga? Je lik moje, ampak ima veze. Ja. Zato ne. Kaj ni tvoje? Ja, mislim, saj če ni škode, ni panike, ali? Stari. Da ne grem, bom jaz šel počasi, prav. Dober, v redu. Kaj vidva drugače? A sta drva sekala, a? A? Kaj? Kaj se ne baviti? Ja, sej gre.
Their tone is sharp, their expressions tense. Within seconds, one of them steps forward and kicks his dirt bike to the ground. Trying to stay composed, Vladimir picks it back up and rides off along a forest trail. On-screen captions appear mocking the men with phrases like angry workless thugs and grass huggers. For a short time, it seems the situation is over. But soon after, he encounters them again, this time standing in his way, visibly angrier than before.
Proklet bil, kaj s tabo model? Pa ne včev. Si profuknen. Daj poberite se, pejte kaj delat model, kaj z vami? Človek se ne more zabavati tukaj, ali kaj? Pizda, bejš, pizdita model.
And his name is John Cena!
Tvoj prijatelj se penupa, a?
Bruh.
Sam dajtas, daju merga par stimagāt. Čilitas. Pēc strāna modeli, laga.
Bež.
Spizdi. Model.
Bež.
Od makanga delah jaz grem in to je to. Model. Verfuknung si model.
They argue about the land. One man shouts that Vladimir is destroying the grass, while the rider insists he's not pointing out that it's winter and the ground is frozen solid. Their voices overlap as the argument escalates. The men begin circling closer, forcing Vladimir to turn his bike around. As he heads back toward the field, both men rush forward, blocking his exit. He tries to accelerate, but the rear wheel slips and the bike crashes. The GoPro shakes violently as one man lunges toward him. The shouting intensifies, filling the scene with the sound of engines scuffling and heavy breathing. The men scream at him to leave. Vladimir mutters something under his breath, restarts the bike and speeds away into the forest, the chaos fading behind him. Viewers were divided. Some claimed Vladimir trespassed and provoked them, while others argued the locals went too far. One viewer summed it up best: you can't fistfight someone in a helmet and armor. Vladimir never spoke about the incident again, and the video ended without explanation. Whether it was a simple property dispute or something more personal remains unclear, a flash of anger that could have ended much worse. Uploaded on May 16, 2025 by The Trek Planner, a channel devoted to exploring ancient sites, forgotten trails, and mysterious canyons across the American Southwest. In this episode, Jeff follows his instincts deep into an isolated canyon, searching for signs of early human history. But what begins as a quiet day of exploration gradually shifts into something much more unsettling, leaving viewers to question what he truly uncovered out there. Jeff begins his journey at sunrise, hiking through rugged terrain, guided only by GPS coordinates and intuition. The canyon stretches endlessly, framed by towering cliffs that look untouched for centuries. Hoping to discover ancient markings, he launches his drone to scan the rock walls for petroglyphs or pictographs.
Well, none of that turned up anything. So I think I'm just gonna go all the way to my destination and maybe on the way back explore this stuff, but that's what I'm gonna do. Lots of rock art. There's water here, so that tells me a good indicator that there could be that stuff, but I'm just not seeing it.
After hours of searching, faint carvings appear, maybe traces of early humans or simply mineral stains on the stone. Still, it's enough to keep him going. The silence grows heavier the deeper he goes. Then suddenly, a thunderous boom echoes through the canyon walls. Startled, Jeff scans the area. No smoke, no movement, only wind sweeping through the vast emptiness.
So something that got me a little spooked was I was flying the drone down there, maybe, I don't know, 400 feet or so, and I heard this really loud, like, boom, boom. It came from like up this direction, and I thought it was like a cow like stomping or something. And so I dismissed it. And then as the drone, I was flying the drone, and I heard it again. I was like, doom, doom. And trying to figure out what would make that sound. There's no trails on top of this butte right here. So I heard it from like over here somewhere. And I flew the drone over there. I didn't see anything, didn't see any cows, didn't see anything, any movement or nothing. So I'm wondering if it's like something that came from above. I don't know, but it freaked me out. Like, what can make a sound like that in the desert? So I'm not going up this canyon. It's the Drum Canyon.
Following a narrow offshoot of the canyon, he spots old inscriptions carved decades ago. Jackie was here, 1967. The reminder of past explorers feels eerie, almost intrusive. As daylight fades, Jeff returns toward his motorbike, only to find the tire completely flat.
Oh, thank goodness you're still here. That's the best part, is I rode out here with pedal assist, and I didn't even bring down one tick in my battery. So now that I'm really tired, I'm just gonna throttle it the entire way home. So yeah, it's gonna feel great. I thought I was done with this adventure, but then something happened. Okay, so the craziest thing happened. So I got back to my bike, my tire was flat. So I was spending a couple of minutes, you know, putting in the sealant and stuff, and all of a sudden I hear like this low rumble, and I'm like, oh no, what next? And I look in the distance and I see this dust cloud. I'm like, oh, somebody's coming. So this truck pulls up and he's like, whoa. He's like, I wasn't expecting anybody out here. And I was like, me neither. He's like, is anybody out here today? I'm like, no, nobody. He's like, whoa, what were you doing? And I was telling him, like, trying to solve a mystery. And he's like, were you hiking up any of these canyons? I was like, yeah, I went up that one, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, how far did you go up this one? And I'm like, pretty far, until the vegetation, you know, was a little too much for me. And then he said, do you see the missile booster? I was like, what? Missile booster? What are you talking about? So I'm gonna check it out. Thought I was done, but I have to see this, even if it's just a couple pieces of it.
The footage then cuts to him recounting the next event. A man in a truck suddenly appeared, shocked to see anyone around. The stranger asked if Jeff had seen a missile booster, a bizarre question in such an isolated stretch of desert. Curious, Jeff follows the directions given and soon comes upon the scorched remains of a massive metal structure, fragments stamped Theocol.
I see it, it's over there. I'm almost there. So random. Oh, look at that. It burned right there, right? I don't even know what this is supposed to look like. Okay, I'm like super red. Just as red as this rocket when it was blasting off. Look where we're at. Little canyon. Well, this is really cool. I'm glad we made the slow, steady leisure walk up here. It was worth it. Oh, look what I just found. Thiocol. That's who makes the rockets. Well, we found one of your top secret rockets. Oh my gosh, that stuff's in there.
So how did a Pershing II missile booster end up in this remote canyon? The Pershing II was a Cold War era nuclear-capable missile designed for fast, precise strikes. From 1979 to 1991, test launches were conducted nearby at a secret site. After launch, the booster would fall back to Earth and was usually recovered. But for some reason, this one was never picked up. It's been here ever since.
Well, why would they leave it here? Can you imagine that sound that would have made? Just this huge crash. I wonder if anybody saw it fall down. That was really cool though.
The company behind the Pershing II missile from the Cold War era. Later viewers speculated that the loud explosion could have been linked to forgotten military testing. Others shared chilling desert legends of people who appear without warning and vanish just as fast. One viewer wrote, "In the desert, you're never really alone. Jeff never saw the stranger again. Whether he was a passerby, a former worker, or something far stranger remains unknown. But one truth stands out. His discovery didn't feel accidental. As one viewer commented, he wasn't lost out there. He was meant to find it."